Hi folks, welcome to Indian Geography. We shall now discuss rock cycle. Let us now try some very important questions based on rock cycle. Which one of the following is generally found in sedimentary rocks? Option A, basalt. Option B, silica. Option C, shale. Option D, magnesium. Option A, basalt. This is how basalt looks like. It is an extrusive igneous rock. On the other hand, this is shale, which is a sedimentary rock. We can get confused and mark C as the correct choice. But we need to read the question again. Which one of the following is found in sedimentary rocks? The question is not asking which of the following is a sedimentary rock. If the question would have been which of the following is a sedimentary rock, then the option C would have been the correct choice. But the question asks which of the following is found in sedimentary rocks. Thus option A and option C both get ruled out because both of these are types of rocks. As we've discussed, basalt is an igneous rock while shale is a sedimentary rock. So now we are left with option B and D. We need to learn here that silica is the mineral that is found in most of the sedimentary rocks and hence is the correct choice. Option B, silica, is generally found in sedimentary rocks. Question number 2. Which of the following rock is black in color? Option A, quartzite. Option B, gabbro. Option C, granite. Option D, basalt. The answer to this question is option B, gabbro. As we can see here, this is gabbro, which is an intrusive igneous rock. Gabbro is always black in color, while other options may have a rock which is black in color, but gabbro is always black in color. It is an intrusive igneous rock which has composition which is very much similar to that of basalt. This is basalt. It is extrusive igneous rock, while this is gabbro, which is similar in composition to basalt but is an intrusive igneous rock. Thus, we can say that gabbro is the plutonic equivalent of basalt, gabbro being intrusive, while basalt being extrusive. Let us now learn more about plutonic rocks. Plutonic rocks are basically intrusive rocks, while volcanic rocks are extrusive rocks. With this information, we can definitely understand that plutonic rocks and volcanic rocks are both igneous rocks. We have already discussed the examples of intrusive igneous rocks. Gabbro is an intrusive igneous rock, and also granite is an intrusive igneous rock, while basalt is an extrusive igneous rock. So in examples we can write gabbro, granite, and in examples of extrusive rocks we can write basalt. Now because plutonic rocks are intrusive rocks, these are formed as a result of cooling down of magma within the Earth's surface, and hence plutonic rocks undergo slow cooling, which allows these rocks to be of big sizes. Thus, in general, plutonic rocks or intrusive rocks exist in large sizes. An example here can be granite, whose rocks are found in pieces of large sizes. On the other hand, volcanic rocks or extrusive rocks undergo fast cooling, and hence generally these are fine grained, or at least much smaller in size as compared to plutonic rocks. Now because of big sizes, the plutonic rocks have less density, and on the contrary, because of small sizes, volcanic rocks have high density, or we must say higher density, as compared to their counterparts, which are plutonic rocks. Both of these are igneous rocks. The only difference between plutonic rocks and volcanic rocks is in the location where cooling of hot magma takes place. For intrusive rocks, the cooling down of hot magma takes place within the Earth's surface, and for extrusive, it takes place outside the Earth's surface. And the last point of difference between plutonic rocks and volcanic rocks is that the plutonic rocks are lighter in color, while the volcanic rocks are darker in color. Although we have seen that gabbro is black in color, but still, in general, plutonic rocks are lighter in color. Now this table is very important from the exam point of view. We need to know all these points of difference between plutonic rocks and volcanic rocks. Next is question number 3. In which among the following terrains the bore wells and canals can be dug up easily? Now in order to dig bore wells, the soil must be soft, and more importantly, lesser amount of rocks should be present. Let us now explore the options. Option A, alluvium of the northern plains. Option B, gneiss, granite and basaltic terrain of peninsular India. Now we know that all these are very hard rocks, so option B is definitely ruled out. Next is option C, rolling and dotted hilly terrain of northeast India. This option also seems very unlikely because hilly terrain definitely cannot allow easy digging of borewells and canals. So option C gets ruled out. Last is option D, confined aquifer below the normal water table, which is also not appropriate for digging borewells and canals. So the most appropriate option here is option A, alluvium of the northern plains. Hence option A is the correct one. Next is question number 4. What are the salient features of metamorphic rocks? Option A, it is crystalline. This is not the salient feature. Option B, these are changeable. This is also not the salient feature of metamorphic rocks because all types of rocks, as we've discussed, are changeable. Option C is foliation, which is true for metamorphic rocks. Option D is lineation, which means the same as foliation and is hence true for metamorphic rocks. Option C is lithification, which means conversion of sediments into sedimentary rocks. Now this has no relation with metamorphic rocks, hence this is also not correct. So options C and D are correct in this case. Let us now discuss foliation and lineation. First of all, we need to know that foliation or lineation are one and the same things. We can see two types of rocks here. One is foliated and the other one is non-foliated. The striking difference between both is that in the foliated rock, we can see layers of different type of materials which are forming the rock very clearly. While in non-foliated rocks, no such layers are visible. The presence of these layers, which seem to be parallel and linear, give it the name lineation. Now this lineation or foliation is the salient feature of metamorphic rocks. And foliation basically means arrangement of minerals in layers as we can see here. Question number 5. The salient feature of sedimentary rock is option A crystalline, which is not true. Option B changeable, which is not specific to one kind of rock. Option C foliation, which is not true because we've already discussed that foliation and lineation both are salient features of metamorphic rocks. Option C lithification, which is the conversion of sediments into sedimentary rocks, and hence lithification is the salient feature of sedimentary rocks. Option E lithification. Let us now discuss lithification. This is how sediments look like, which usually comprise of 50 to 60% of water. After undergoing compaction, they lose their water content and become sedimentary rocks, which possess only 10 to 20% of water. This process of conversion of sediments into rocks is called lithification. Now, lithification can take place in two ways. One is through compaction, which is this process, and the other is through cementation, which is this process. We can see scattered sediments in this case, which undergo lithification and become a combined entity, which is called the sedimentary rock. With this, we've discussed all possible details about rock cycle. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.